What's going on, guys? My name is Martinio and welcome back to the channel, where today I am checking out the newly released Project Motor Racing. And when this was announced, I was quite excited for it because a lot of the people involved in this were behind the original Project Cars games, which for me, I have got a bit of a soft spot for them. Not just in terms of, the actual games themselves, but also from the perspective of content creation, because I think still now my most viewed video, and viewed videos should I say, are from Project Cars 1 and 2. And I was more than disappointed when Project Cars 3 turned out to be, well, what it was, which was a turd. And at the time, my thinking was, okay, well, Slightly Mad Studios have been purchased by Codemasters, and Codemasters have been purchased by EA, and as we all know, when EA gets their hands on any kind of IP, they generally destroy it. So, yeah. I wasn't putting all the blame on Slightly Mad Studios for the debacle that was Project Cars 3, and when this was announced, I was excited for a number of reasons. Number one, the content lineup looked fantastic in terms of the cars, modern stuff as well. I know a lot of people love the GT3s and the GTPs and the modern stuff, but also for the other ones among us, the classic stuff as well, your classic MC, your Group C, and many more as well. So I was excited from that perspective. But more so, I was excited that this could possibly be, now they've sort of branched away from EA and Codemasters, or what was Codemasters, should I say. I was hopeful that this could be the Project Cars 3 we always should have gotten. So I went into this with some optimism and some hope that this could be, like I said, the Project Cars 3 we always should have got, and maybe the GTR 3 or 4, I'm not sure how many GTR games there were. I think this is a combination, it's sort of a mix of both, I guess. So, like I said, went into it with optimism, a bit of hope, and now inevitably, day one, you're going to run into some snafus. The first one I ran into was regarding sort of setup and triple screen. Now, setting up my wheel and pedals was very straightforward, but when it came to sort of other peripherals like my sequential shifter and my handbrake, it wasn't having them. Had the same problem in Assetto Corsa Rally. I did just quickly go out to another sim and check that another sim that I used those in, just to check that they were working properly, and they were. So not quite sure what the problem is. What's worse though is that it actually named them in the thingy, so it knew exactly what they were. So again, day one, I can sort of give them a little bit of a discount, a little bit of slack on that front. But then it came to set up the triples. Now, this has always been a bone of contention with me because it always feels like it's an afterthought with sim developers. Like, they'll do most of it and then they'll kick it over and say, oh, they can just figure it out through NVIDIA Surround or AMD Infinity. And I posted a video last week about how to set up a Assetto Corsa Rally without NVIDIA Surround or Infinity, and mainly because I dislike NVIDIA Surround with a passion. So yes, now you can actually set it up without those, without having to go to an outside app like simple Windows Runtime Editor or Resize Raccoon. However, there isn't any kind of function to actually align them properly. So it will do triples, but it's misaligned on the left and right screen with no function to sort of independently move the left and right perspective to line it up properly. Which, like I said, for 2025, and with triple screens no longer being sort of a bit of a niche thing, a rare thing that people would run into, very, very annoying and very, very disappointing. What's even worse with the whole triple screen setup, however, is, and you can see on screen here, you can just see these lines. The menus, everything's been moved to the left or the right. It sort of spanned the menus right across the whole of it. So you'll have stuff on your left screen and stuff on your right screen, and if you haven't to switch between the two, you look like you're watching a tennis match, just left to right, left to right, left to right. So if you I don't know, if you want a neck workout, then setting this game up will probably be for you. Good neck workout. Maybe it'll be good for the F1 drivers out there who may be watching this. But yeah, just annoying that it just felt like, again, with triple screens for this and many others, but for this in particular, just felt like an afterthought. Because Ian Bell was on X earlier talking about how this game's been in development for 4 years and all this hard work, and it just felt like they got to a point with triple screens and it's like, I'll do. Whatever, we got other stuff to do. We'll get rid of it. So yeah, very, very disappointed on that front with the triple screens. It kind of works, but it just doesn't work as well as I hoped it would, let's just say. But then let's get into sort of the nitty gritty, so to speak, with this. The the driving. That's pretty much all you can say. Like, I had very high hopes for this, but unfortunately, there's a distinct lack of feel. It feels very numb. Like, you know that the weight is moving around, you just can't feel it. And you can sort of predict it, because generally speaking, the weight's going to move forward when you're braking, it's going to move to the back when you're accelerating, it's going to move left when you're turning right, and right when you're turning left, and so on and so forth. But you just can't feel how far it's going. So getting to a point where you can actually push it, you're sort of always sort of hesitating, I guess, because you don't really know when you're going too far, because it's not being transmitted to you. Weirdly though, when I was going down a straight at Monza, I could feel all the little bumps, the little divots and little things that you inevitably get in every racetrack, because none of them are a snooker table. There's always going to be little bumps and divots here and there. But as soon as you start putting any steering load through it, it just goes numb. And I was getting understeer on corner entry, the back end of the mid corners understeer as well. You're almost having to guess if you've turned the wheel enough, because you can't really feel it. You can't really feel when you get to the edge of that grip level, because you can't really feel any grip at all. Which, as I said, for a game that's been in development for 4 years, that's just so unbelievably annoying that this is what we get. And I don't want to pile on it and be this, negative Nancy, I suppose you can call it, or a negative Neddy. I don't know, if you're a fan of The Simpsons, you might get that reference. I think he said that. Stupid Flanders. But yeah, like I said, a distinct lack of wheel, lateral load, you can't really feel anything. You can feel small, subtle bumps in the straight line, but yeah, lots of mid-corner understeer. You will get some lift-off oversteer as well, which I noticed going through turn 1 at Sebring, when you sort of get off throttle and start to pitch the car in. The rear will just go, well, I assume it will feel very light. It all feels light to me, but it will just go, it will just snap on you. So it's very hard to really figure out what the car's doing, I guess. And I chose a GT3 car specifically because they are generally very stable. They've got a good amount of grip, good amount of downforce. You should be able to, it's sort of a good measuring stick for how a sim's physics and force feedback, but there wasn't really any of that. In terms of the actual racing and the car itself, the cars do seem overly fragile. You rub someone a little bit and it just looks like someone's taken a chunk out of it. Just a little bit of contact. You can feel the contact, but it doesn't feel like it's huge contact, but it does chew the car up, so they do feel overly fragile in that regard, and light also. And when you do get into someone else, getting onto the other people, should I say, is the AI, which just doesn't feel very good at all. They're a bit all over the place, if I'm being perfectly honest, to boil it down to what it is. They're slow on the straights. On the straights, I'm just monstering past them. Like, I didn't even have to be in the slipstream, I was just whizzing straight past them. But then they'll have tendencies to just wild dive bombs into corners, which I know it happens in real life racing as well, but this was just an all too familiar thing, in all honesty. And on top of that, there just seems to be a general obliviousness to your presence. Like, if you're side by side with them, they will try and escort you to the side of the track. I'm not saying squeeze you, they will move into you and push you off the track. Like they've only got a one-track mind for the racing line sort of thing. And like I said, for a game that's been in development for 4 years, I expected a hell of a lot better than that, if I'm being completely honest with you. Yeah, it's just overall disappointing. Like, even simple things, well, not simple things, but things like trail braking just become completely moot because you can't feel anything anyway. So you don't really know if you're trail braking enough or too much, I guess, because you can't feel the tyres, you can't feel where the grip is, you can't feel the load moving around front to back, left to right, and so on and so forth. So you can sort of try and find the edge and start to push it and push the envelope, so to speak. And yeah, it's just, it's not good enough. Now, apparently, there is a 1.5 update incoming. Now, I am going to say, I'm not 100% certain if I have run this with the update. I've had a look at all the information I can find in Steam and in the game files, but nothing actually tells me what version of the game I'm actually running. So I'm not sure if this is without the update or with the update. If it's without the update, I may come back on Saturday and give it another go. I've still got a little bit of time before I go past that 2-hour mark where I can get a refund from Steam, which is probably where it's heading right now. But yeah, I mean, in conclusion, I mean, if you want to try it yourself, you can. If you try it on Steam, you can obviously try it for a couple of hours and then you can refund it if you need to. But overall, for 4 years of development and all the talk and all the bluster that generally comes from Heusinkveld, nothing against the guy, but you know, he does talk quite a bit. I was honestly expecting a lot better, and I think the overarching feeling right now is I really, really wanted to like it. I just don't like it. I mean, the other side of it is I was looking through the replays, and the replays look awful. They only run in at 30 FPS for one, which seems silly from my perspective. In this day and age, 30 FPS for a replay just doesn't seem great, and even the replays themselves don't look very good. Lots of weird sort of, it seems intermittent motion blur, janky camera angles and changes sometimes. And moving through the replays, if you want to fast forward to a point, say you go to like ×4 motion, you know, or ×4 speed, right? You press pause. Now normal people would think, okay, if I press play again, it's going to just carry on at normal speed. Not this. It'll carry on at 4x. You have to go to the sort of the rewind button if you press fast forward, or vice versa, and back it off back to normal sort of speed again, which to me just seems stupid. Again, it feels like they've done the replays to a point and then it becomes an afterthought, like the triple screens. So, like I said, I really wanted to like this. I really enjoyed the Project Cars games. I was annoyed at what happens to that series, and I was hoping this could be the spiritual Project Cars 3, or the Project Cars 3 we should have got, but it just isn't, guys, from my perspective. You're welcome to try it yourself, but just, you know, one man's opinion, I guess. It's just, for what is about 53 quid for the base version of the game, and possibly somewhere between 70 and 80 for the full-blown sort of all bells and whistles, extra DLC stuff, I can't justify it. I'm sorry, I really can't. I'm not going to give it a rating, I'm just going to tell you what I thought about it. So, yeah, if there was a rating like out of 5, it'd probably be like a 1 or a half. So, yeah, Project Motor Racing. Ambitious. But they missed the mark, in my opinion. It may come good. You know, it might be a case of you just got to wait 6 months. And you know, they'll iron it all out. You know, LMU wasn't perfect out of the box, and that's now one of the better ones out there from what I've heard, and I may go and pick that up. And there's probably a few other titles as well out there that are the same, but yeah, for right now, I'd say maybe save your money, you know. And I hate saying that because I really wanted to like it, but yeah, no, that's just my opinion on this. But yeah, overall, like I said, wanted to like it, can't, very disappointed. But that's the end of today's video, guys. Somber end, I suppose you could say, to this video. But if you did get this far, and well, thank you for watching. I know it's not easy to listen to a guy moan about a game you've probably been excited for, and I share your disappointment. But yes, if you got this far, thank you so much for watching. If you found the video helpful in terms of the decision making, you know, in terms of your decision making whether to purchase this, then please leave a like. If you picked this game up and you've tried it and you have any sort of thoughts and sentiments, maybe something I missed, leave a comment down below. It's always very welcome to hear from you. And if you want to see more content from me where I'm doing some actual driving in something I actually enjoy racing in, then subscribe and hit that bell notification button so you get an update when all the videos, new videos go live. Next one should be up on Thursday, I'm hoping. Depending on what happens, it may be another Project Motorsport video if they bring the update out. If not, it's going to be something else. So keep your eyes peeled for that and subscribe if you want to see it. But yes, once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have an awesome day. And as always, I will see you all in the next video. Take care.